Buenas tardes. Mucho trabajo. Perdón, señorita. Señor. Perdón. Otra vez. That ain't Spanish. You guys have been learning a lot about pronunciation, and we've just started working on the letter ere in Spanish. And the letter ere is gonna take so much trabajo. Not trabajo. Trabajo. So what I want to do is go through some basic words that I said at the beginning of the video and say them in Spanish for you, but coach you on how to do it. Now, probably the hardest word for you at this point, if you sounded like an American at the beginning of this series, would be the word tardes, which means afternoon, right? So if you're trying to tell somebody good afternoon in Spanish, you don't want to say buenas tardes. Buenas tardes. If this is the first video, I recommend you turning it off and going to video number 1 and going through so you can make sure that you got these consonants and the vowel sounds right too. But tardes is a hard word because it's got 3 of the hardest consonants to pronounce for the average American in Spanish. So that's why I want to make sure that you have the te and the de sound, because you're going to be alternating between those 2 consonants and the hardest letter in Spanish, which is ere, not r. We're just gonna spell it a little differently. Instead of tardes, we're gonna say tarades. Tara. Now, in order to prepare for that, why don't we go through the alphabet real quick? Repeat after me. Tara, tere, tiri, toro, turu. Not the alphabet, but the vowels. Tara, tara, tere, tere, tiri, tiri, toro, toro, turu, turu. Just to make sure that your tongue's gonna do the right thing when we hit that letter ere in a minute. So, we're gonna say tara, and at the end of that, we're going to say des. So, des. Make sure it's not des. Tardes. It's not Spanish, right? So, tarades. And then you would speed it up a little bit after the ara, because that other vowel sound's not actually in the real word. It sounds like this. Tardes. But you see how the ere and the de, there's a little space in between where you do hear the tongue kind of flickering. Tardes. 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 It doesn't matter if you can't say it fast right now, because this is going to take some time to work on. Tardes. So the next one I want to work on with you is trabajo. That's hard as well. Trabajo is easier. Trabajo means work. So mucha gente dice trabajo. A lot of people say trabajo. It's not trabajo. It's trabajo. Okay, so at the beginning we had the te and the ere right after each other, so it's tra. If that's hard for you, then take the te and the ere and space it out, so it's tara, bajo, bajo. Now the last part of the word, bajo, make sure that the be, you have your lips tightened, and the ho is a breathy sound that comes out of the back of your throat. Ho. It's not ho. Trabajo. See that? The difference. Trabajo, bajo, and bajo. Bajo. Trabajo. Trabajo would be a good way to practice it until you build it up to trabajo. 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 Mucho trabajo. A lot of work. Señora. It's not senora, it's señora. So we can always break down the ora part by starting with the last video and going through that, where it was gara, ora, gara, ara, ora, señora, señora. Make it nasally sounding like I am. Señora, señorita, ita, ita. Not ita, señorita, it's señorita, señorita, orita, señorita. Perdón. There's a tough one. That means excuse me. Perdón. Instead of saying perdón, try to tighten your lips. Pe, pere, perdón, perdón. Now obviously it's not pere, it's perdón. But since you are learning to roll your R's now, at this point you just want to go slowly with it. Perdón. And if you can do it that, then shorten that ere part at the end, so it's perdón, 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 perdón. All right, I think you're doing good so far. I can't hear you, but I want to hear it otra vez. That's what you would tell someone, otra vez, like say it again. Otra vez means again. Otra vez. So, otra. You can do the same thing there. Otra, otra, until you've got that down, and then just tighten it up. Otra, otra vez, otra vez. So I want to ask you for a favor right now, and I want you to record yourself saying some of these things that I've been recording and send them to me at my email, languagemasterjeff@gmail.com, or you can tag me in a post on Facebook and Instagram. I don't do Twitter because I also don't have a fax machine. But I really appreciate you watching this video, and if you think it's going to help somebody else, subscribe to my videos, subscribe to the push notifications with the bell, and share it with one of your friends.